All right, we're back. You were saying in part one.
Yes, in part one, I was mentioning about North Korea.
Yes.
Do you have any opinions on the visit of Dennis Rodman to
Yes.
North Korea?
Yes, I do. I have an opinion about that.
Okay.
Why do we have to have an opinion about that? That's my opinion about that. There's absolutely no reason we need to be talking about Dennis Rodman going to North Korea. The mere fact that this is news just shows us how desperate and sad the state of news is. That a basketball player can go to North Korea, and you got people saying we have an exclusive interview with Dennis Rodman on North Korea. It's a circus. It's not serious. That belongs in one of those segments at the end of the news, and little dopey section. And now let's talk a little bit about Dennis Rodman going to North Korea. And then they have like something at the end of the newscast where they go, yeah, that was pretty funny. And then you end the newscast. That's called chit chat. Well, that was pretty fun. But to make this headline is sad, in my opinion. Okay, go on.
You're looking at it in its totality. I'm looking at it from a totally different perspective.
Okay, good.
Now, just
a second. Let me hand the clapper. Okay, totally different perspective. Okay, go. Clapper does it, man. Go ahead.
I would look, see, I'm one of these people that I hate when there will be non-whites that'll look at blacks and say, they'll just talk about them, and just make fun of them for no reason, just because of whatever different reason. I mean, whatever. And then I hate when there are blacks that actually give people an excuse, because I loved Rodman as a player.
Okay. Yeah.
And I love flamboyance in someone's dress. But when I started looking at Rodman, when I started seeing him we're seeing him in pictures over in South Korea, I catch myself saying, this fool looks like a clown. And then I'm saying, oh, God help me, that's the white part of me.
Dennis is Dennis.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like, why would we expect Dennis Rodman not to be Dennis Rodman?
But you know what? No. I get that. Yeah. I get that. But I'm looking at it, it's like, Dennis Rodman has to be pushing 50-something. He looks like he does need to be in rehab every day, all day.
And that's not breaking news.
Exactly. And I'm looking at it, and I'm not saying I'm right. What I'm saying is I'm falling into that trap. The trap of trying to look at it and make judgments. That's the thing. I'm looking at him and like,
Dennis Rodman was. I just say this: Dennis Rodman is Dennis Rodman. What you see is what you get. Old Flip Wilson. So what you see is what you get. That's it. And the fact that people are shocked or surprised about him being outrageous. I mean, come on, tattoos and all that. He lives on that.
It's not even that anymore, though, because it's not even cutting edge. What I'm saying, it's not even for the sake of looking different. It's like it's almost like, okay, that's not even. If this is your way of being cutting edge, you're so far from being cutting edge now.
Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
But he doesn't have to do that. That's not his call, in my opinion. That's the news media. Yeah. They have made that call to put him where he is and to make this some type of international event or whatever it is. I mean, he went to rehab. I think anybody who goes to rehab make a decision to get themselves clean, no matter how many times it takes, hats off to them or hands off to them or something, whatever it is. That's a pretty major decision. Now, the fact that he's speaking from rehab about this says a lot about him, his seriousness. I don't know. I mean, just it's Dennis, go to rehab, stay in rehab, leave the media alone, and let's be done with this right here. But the fact that I'm checking myself in, now I'm ready for my interview from rehab, that just says a lot. And the fact that the media, they have nothing. I think we go back to, we got 24 hours to fill.
Exactly.
And they need to
exactly
divide
what it
this
is.
up to, and I think they take the 24 hours and say from 8 to 12, this is really good hardcore news. From 12 to 5, it's crappy news. And anything that makes it crappy gets on there. Then from 5 to some other time, we go back to hardcore. But breaking news is, I mean, someone could be breaking wind, and that's breaking news.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it, I was watching, I was listening to one of the news programs. I think it was NPR, one of those programs. The sad thing about the news, which is why I don't have cable and I don't watch news on a regular basis. The sad thing about news is that you have people in the news who are so full of themselves that they don't realize they don't know how to do news. If I was talking to you and I was interviewing you and you say something outrageous, why can I not challenge you on that?
I agree.
Why, I mean, if you say, Bert, the earth is flat, great, thank you very much. Now we're going to be right back, and I just leave it there. If you say something so outrageous, I should be able to say, Eric, you know, the earth is round. We got pictures to show you the earth is round. No, I'm from the Flat Earth Society and we think it's flat. Yes, Eric, but look at these pictures right here. How can you say the earth is flat when we know it's round? We got satellite photos. And then, and I would challenge you and say, where did you get your information from? Today's news, they don't do that. The news has become, anyone who gets interviewed, most people, I'd say anyone, Tim Russell was probably the last one that actually challenged people. People can say anything, and reporters are basically there to not challenge them, but let people say whatever they want to.
Facilitators.
Exactly. They're just, you have facilitators, they sit there and go, that's fine with me. And I feel passionate about that because the quality of journalism is so bad that no one respects journalists anymore. I don't respect the news as much as I did many years ago. Where are the investigative reporting going around? Where are people saying, why not do a fact check every day? Why not just, when you're done talking to someone, why not immediately have someone fact check everything that person says? And that way you can say, so-and-so said this, this, and this. We just got our, people who researched it. He said it was 59 billion. It was actually only 2 billion. He said it was 19 whatever. It was actually this time. He said the president said this, and the president actually said this. If there was a news program that would actually, they're actually involved in doing something like that, it would be a lot better. And if you had journalists who knew how to ask questions.
And that's a lot of it too.
Yeah.
Maybe they teach, most of the schools nowadays just teach people to be teleprompter readers. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's the 24. You got people. Maybe this has something to do with it because this is breaking news right here. Discovery. When you had less time to tell people the news, the quality of people who made it to that level. These were the best. You didn't get on CBS Evening News if you were a crappy reporter. But when you got so many outlets, there's only so many quality people that are in the field that you start getting crappy people in the field. I'd say crappy people, just crappy journalists, not really good journalists, and they get on the air.
Crappy people.
The crappy journalists, techniques that they look good, but they're not good.
Yeah.
And if this was 30 years ago, I'd say a good percentage of those people would not be considered even reporters.
The talent pool has been diluted.
Oh gosh, it has to be. You cannot have that many good people at all. Just like, if there were a lot of NFL players, there are some good people on your team and there are some crappy people, and the people who don't perform, they let them go. And they actually get someone else.
Imagine the level of, it works two ways. One, if you have a number of outlets or avenues that are limited as opposed to vast, one can look at it and say it forces the cream of the crop to rise. I don't know if I'm even mixing metaphors or analogies, but it forces the best to rise to the top. You know, so
It's a great analogy.
it weeds out the ones that are not nearly as good. That's one way to look at it. The
Yes.
hope that the fewer the venues for talent, that means the greater the competition to get those spots, and the best will shine.
Exactly.
Now, okay, and that would be if there was an ABC, CBS, or an NBC.
Hold that thought. Go.
Okay. Now you have so many other news outlets.
Yep.
So one can argue, here are the two things I'm arguing.
Okay.
Is it that because there's so many outlets that it doesn't create a situation where there are only the best, and now it's diluted with those who are inferior? Or is it a situation where even if there were fewer outlets, as opposed to having so many outlets, maybe it doesn't necessarily allow some of the best to get in? If everything is about competition, maybe if competition is part of it, maybe it's still sometimes that whole thing about it's not what you know, but who you know. Is it always a matter of the best getting in?
No, I think anybody can get in.
No, I'm talking about even in the past. Is it always a matter about the best getting in?
Think about, of course we weren't born when that time, but when we look at journalism, when you didn't have the entertainment aspect of it, you didn't have to look a certain way. Think about this. Are there any people who are really overweight that are good journalists? Do you see them on TV?
I really watch TV. So
I'm just saying that most of the people you see on TV are, quote, TV looking good and whatever. So you mean that someone like a Megyn Kelly from Fox? Okay, I don't know if I would call her a journalist, more like, a Fox mouthpiece. That's what she does. She believes these things and whatever it is. But we have a look that we go for. And if someone never reach that look we're going for, then they're not going to get on the news. There are very few people who are overweight or don't look like a Hollywood glamour star that have their own shows and so on and so forth. And I think that's one thing, the entertainment aspect of it.